everybody. My name is Dr. Bliss. I'm the Director of Percussion Studies here at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, and we're so glad you joined us for the UT Percussion Podcast, Senior Clinic Edition. We are going to be filming some small podcasts over the next couple of weeks here in November of 2012, as a lot of you students are getting ready to take the WTS, MTS, and ETSBOA senior clinic auditions, and we thought we'd pitch in and see if we could help out. So these podcasts will be performed by several of my students along with myself, and we'll be working together to try to give you some helpful hints and tips as you prepare for your auditions upcoming in the next several weeks and months. So please note that we don't think that our interpretation of these pieces is the only way to do these. So if you have gotten instruction otherwise, certainly listen to your teachers and all of those good things. But we do want to give you some feedback, especially for those of you students who are in more remote locations throughout the state of Tennessee and possibly don't have a private instructor available. We thought, why not use the internet to share some of the things that we do here at UT. So we hope you enjoy these. We'll be doing MTS BOA excerpts this week and then releasing the others very shortly after. You're always welcome to email me here at the university. My name, again, is Andy Bliss. My email is abliss@utk.edu, and you can find the UT Percussion Studio on Facebook if you search UT Percussion, and our Twitter handle is @UT Percussion. So best of luck to you in your audition, and we hope you take something enjoyable from this series of podcasts. Have a great day. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the UT Percussion Podcast. I'm here with Ashley Holt.
Hey, guys.
And we are working on the WTSBOA Senior Clinic excerpts, the last portion of the Etude, which is the Castanet portion. We apologize that both of us are a little under the weather, so hopefully it doesn't sound too bad in our voice. But we're going to talk to you guys just a little bit about castanets. And in full disclosure, before we start, we need to discuss one of the things that makes percussionists particularly good at what we do is learning how to do things that are not familiar to us. You probably know that there is no Cerrone book of etudes for castanets, nor is there a Morris Goldenberg book full of castanet excerpts and etudes. And so while some accessory instruments get a lot of attention, castanets is one that is important like the rest of them. However, there's really not a lot of repertoire or resources out there for how to play them. So one of the things that we have to do is learn to explore the instrument and learn all the different sounds that it can make, and then try to figure out how to apply those options to what's written in the music. So before we even begin talking about castanets, I wanted to mention that because even here at UT, we had a lengthy discussion about what kind of resources were available for castanets, and we found there really are very few. So you're going to have to do a little bit of experimenting. That said, what are some of the things that you, just from a musical standpoint, tried to address when you were learning this etude, Ashley?
The first thing is in the very first measure, 30-second notes. I know a lot of times those can be scary, especially if you're not used to playing them. So all you have to remember is it's just one E and with two notes. One, you just come in on the of 4/16 notes and then go into beat 2. And
Great.
then also make sure you die down at the mezzo piano. And a technical thing with the castanets, I chose to play the FF, the fortissimo parts, just open with no finger on top of the castanets. But then when I got to the decrescendo, I chose to put my finger on it, and it helps keep the top part closed down so you can play softer.
Yeah, and this is a really good point. Again, coming out of the experimentation with these instruments, or this instrument, it's simple physics, right? If you have two pieces of wood and they come from further apart, they're going to be quite a bit louder. So by adding that that finger on top of the castanets, we are able to control the volume a little bit and help us make a little bit of a dynamic difference.
And one thing you want to focus on before you even play the Etude is just getting a good sound out of the castanets. And I would just sit and play them on your leg for a while until you get even sounds. And play them generally in the same spot around your knee. That way you'll get the same pitch.
Yep.
And then you can practice too with your finger on it and practice at different dynamic levels.
Yeah, I noticed you're holding a good bit of the way up the handle. Did you even try at the end? I would imagine if you maybe held on the end like a drumstick, you probably have less control. Is that right?
Yeah, sometimes the castanets will, these will flop and you'll get kind of a flam sound, and you don't want that, so you have to figure out the best way to hold them. And like you said, just experiment with them. That's what I did when I got this Etude. And I just tried to find different ways to play, the fortissimo part or the softer part. And I found the best way to do that was to not put your finger on it for this and then put your finger on it for the soft one and hold them about right under these black things here.
Yeah, good. Great. Now let's talk about the rolls a little bit. Play the roll the normal way, the first way that you were doing it when we were.
And that's with the castanets
Right
side up, yeah.
Good. And then what happens when you flip them?
That gives you more of a sustained roll sound, I think, than like a metered roll.
Right.
Sounds better.
And again, keep in mind, we're fighting an uphill battle, right? A roll is just simply the illusion of sustained sound. So we've got a couple of pieces of wood that we're trying to strike together in such a way that it sounds like one long bowed violin note or something like that. And so that's impossible. However, we can do everything we can to try to blend that sound into what would, like I said, the illusion of a sustained sound. And by having less of the meter in the roll, when Ashley flipped the castanets over, we get kind of a fuller style of roll. So you may have noticed in her performance that you probably just watched, she's flipping back and forth on the rolls.
Yeah, that's one thing you're going to have to practice, like third measure, just and then practice flipping them back over, because a lot of times you'll hit the side of it and you want to get two good accents on those eighth notes. So just repetition, just work that measure over and over and over until it sounds good. And I think the hardest measure is it's labeled measure 39 in the Etude, but I chose to do on that measure 2 rides on the last triplet and eighth note, and then flip him over. That was easiest for me because these black things always got in the way when I flipped them. On the softer rolls, I came more at this angle on the edge of my knee because it was easier for me to do than up here. You can experiment with it. So that's how I chose to do it. It's the same type of motion. It's just more of this type of movement. And on those, you don't want to end with a big attack since they're tied together. And then flip them back. And go those last 16 notes at the end.
Yeah, it was good that Ashley pointed out that they are tied, but there's no accent on the release of the roll. So we don't want it to pop out as a note. It should kind of blend, with the roll that we heard prior to that. She also mentioned the tension adjusters on the castanets. Black Swamp castanets are nice. They've got these adjusters, and that'll change the instrument so it closes and opens a little bit. And so again, a lot of this just comes down to spending a little bit of time with whatever castanets you have access to, and then trying to figure out what you can do to make them sound the best. Just earlier this week, where we were kind of exploring soft roll passages, and we noticed that it was really difficult, especially if you do it in the first style. When you go soft, it really doesn't sound like a roll very much. So we agreed we wanted to flip it. And then Ashley made the discovery that if she moved to the side of her leg, she was able to control the dynamic. There's not always like a particularly good reason. You just have to look around and figure out what's available. And this is the same for woodblock and all of these other instruments that we're responsible for as percussionists. So, any last comments, Ashley? That's probably about it.
No, I think that's it.
Great. Well, thanks a lot for sharing all this information and for preparing the Etude. That completes our series of podcasts for WTSBOA. So if you haven't found the other 3 for snare drum, marimba, and timpani, just check our playlist on YouTube or just the YouTube site, which is youtube.com/UTK Percussion. And as always, we're on Twitter at UT Percussion, and on Facebook you can find our group page. In addition to these podcasts, we're going to be releasing a lot of things come 2013 about upcoming concerts. We have guest artists stop in all the time, and so please check back with us. And as always, let us know if there's anything we can do to help. Thanks a lot, and have a great holiday.